Bonjour les amis. We are being treated to a concert by a Ukrainian singer before they turn on the holiday lights. I hope you can hear me okay. It's literally packed with people, many more than last year. Here's the tree that will get lit up. Bonjour friends, bonjour Peggy. So I'm going to stay right where I am because it's just too crowded. I think this is a pretty good spot. We have very, very pretty plants, flowers here, mums, white and yellow, all around the Hotel de Ville. Could you let me know if the sound is good for you, please? I cannot shout. Bonsoir, Kat. Welcome, friends. I started a little early because I didn't want to miss the lighting of the tree. Here is our glorious Hotel de Ville, the city hall of Tours. You can see it's right before 7 p.m. here. So I'm just going to stay here until the singer is finished, and after that the party will start. Bonsoir friends, welcome. Bienvenue à Tours. You can see the crowd. Yes, I'm assuming that quite a few people are filming, which is why the signal is probably a bit weak. We have a lot of children here. They're waiting for the Christmas lights, the holiday lights. And again, this is a Ukrainian singer. The Ukrainian flag has been flying outside the city hall for months now. You can see it on the left-hand side, next to the French flag and the European flag. Welcome. Bienvenue à Tours. You can see the big tree on the left here. This is the one that they will light up. And when they do this, all the lights will go on for the duration of the holidays. It's a big deal in Tours every year. We are... Bonjour Lachlan. Bonjour friends, thanks for joining me. We are on La Place Jean Jaurès in Tours, otherwise known as La Place du Palais. And a Ukrainian singer is providing entertainment right now, before the festivities actually start. At 7 o'clock. Bonjour friends, hi Sharon. All my friends are here. Thank you for joining me. I know it's a busy weekend in some parts of the world. a tram going by. The young Ukrainian singer is finished. Watch out for the big tree there on the left. Emmanuel Denis, the mayor, is going to flip the switch. Bonjour Jeanne. Everybody is there by the city hall.
Bonsoir
On the other
à
side,
tous.
this is the
Je
mayor.
voudrais savoir, est-ce que les enfants de la ville de Tours sont tous présents?
Oh,
Les
the
enfants,
kids
vous êtes
here,
là?
he's saying. Oh,
Bon,
yes,
est-ce
they
qu'on va
are.
pouvoir lancer les illuminations et les festivités
Can we
de
get it
2022?
started? Can we
Est-ce que
get
vous êtes
this show
d'accord?
started? Are you ready? Do you agree?
Est-ce qu'on lance le décompte alors? On commence à 10. Vous êtes
Okay.
d'accord? On
Here
y
we
va?
go, the countdown.
C'est parti.
In French,
10,
please. 10,
9,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Woohoo! Happy holidays, friends. Happy holidays, Tours.
Nous continuons la soirée avec une interprétation musicale des élèves de la section cuivre.
This is a very big deal in this city, and the fountains just turned on. We have two on either side of the square. Beautiful. A lot more crowded than last year. People are very happy to be back. So I wanted you to see this up close and personal. I hope the signal is decent. Lots of people are filming.
Le conservatoire de Tours, la section cuivre.
Young children are going to play now. So I'm going to stand here for a few minutes and then I'll get going, okay? A brass band. Look at the beautiful mums. And they're all along the Hôtel de Ville as well on the facade. They've been there. I'll get closer so you can see later. They've been there for weeks now. It's so crowded. Most famous French Christmas song, Petit Papa Noël, dating back to the 1940s. Everybody's singing. Avec tes jouets par milliers, n'oublie pas mon petit soulier, mais avant de partir. This is beautiful. The mighty Hôtel de Ville dominating the Place Jean Jaurès, one of the major squares in Tours for locals. All right, I'm going to try and step away from here and take you to another section. I'm glad we made it in time. And please bear with me if the cell signal gets spotty at times. Lots of people with phones. It has been a beautiful day. The sky was blue most of the day. It's perfect weather for this. Hundreds, I want to say several thousand people are here tonight. So this is, if you know Tours, if you've taken tours with me in the city, typically I take you through the historic side of town. We have two historic hearts, as you know, on the other side of town. We'll be heading in that direction. But here around the Place Jean Jaurès, it's a very different atmosphere. This is more 19th century Tours. This is the part of the city that grew full south when the train arrived in Tours in the second half of the 19th century. And if you could see those buildings in the back here, you would see that we have some Haussmannian buildings as well as many brasseries. So this is as close to a Paris atmosphere you will have in Tours, right around here. Brasserie de l'Univers, I've taken you inside when I ran a virtual tour in the spring and took you inside that glorious hotel, historic hotel, Hôtel de l'Univers, and then we went inside this brasserie that has a gorgeous stained glass ceiling that dates back to 1896. The Hôtel de Ville itself, you can see the curved shape of the square on both sides. You have this side Here is the Palace of Justice, the first monumental building that was erected here in the first half of the 19th century. The Hôtel de Ville, the city hall, that was built in about 8 years and inaugurated in the early 1900s. And then the other side of the square, which is really pretty, another curved side here. So it's a very pretty square around. Look at all these people. Now that the tree has been lit up, the fun can start. The police is here to make sure everything runs smoothly. And so this is the part of town that really grew in the second half of the 19th century. The tram is coming. I'm going to walk up towards the Loire River. I'm pretty much going to follow the itinerary I followed last year. This is the tram that was inaugurated in 2013. It's state-of-the-art, very efficient. It can take you to the train station, which is a little bit farther up to the left here in about 5 minutes from here. This is also rush hour to make things worse. This is not a holiday weekend in France, and so it's about 7 p.m., so there's a lot of traffic too. People are trying to get back from work for the weekend. This is why you have so many people, but they would have come here anyway because this is a tradition here. The lighting up of the Christmas tree. Look at the people outside. Even if it's cold, they manage to sit outside inside those special spaces that belong to the Brasserie de l'Univers. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for joining me today, friends. This is makes me happy to share this with you. It is the official start of the holiday season in Tours and many other cities in this area, I'm pretty sure. You see those lights, those lamps here. So definitely a feel, a little bit of a Parisian or Haussmannian feel. And this is a part of Tours that gave the city its nickname, the Little Paris, in the 19th century. So it's not really surprising. Hope this sounds okay for you. Yeah, somebody said it looks like the whole city came out. You're not joking. It's very crowded. There's a whole shopping area, pedestrian streets in this corner here, which is very close to the train station. You can see the lights are now officially on in the streets. You have lots of stores around here. And look at this building here above H&M. You can see that we do have those Haussmannian vibes for sure around here. Some of these domes you see in Paris. So a very different feel from the type of neighborhoods you find in the old part of the city. This sounds perfect. Thank you for confirming, Mr. Bruce. I appreciate it. All right, let me find my way through this crowd. Will you come with me? Will you join me? The tram is packed, so the tram may not be a good idea. I'm therefore going to go this way. So the tram is super efficient, €1.60 for one ride. You do have day passes, 24-hour passes, 48-hour passes, or you have 10-trip passes. So it's very efficient, pretty affordable. And it's a long line, so it takes you all the way north and all the way south. It takes you through downtown Tours. We're headed in that direction now. The Palace of Justice on the left. All right, I'm hoping the crowd is thinning out a little bit now. We'll try and cross here. Our magnificent Hôtel de Ville. It was meant to send a strong message about the Third Republic, about municipal power as much as well. So it had to be a massive building, more of a palace really. There is a gorgeous room inside I was lucky to visit during Heritage Days in September called La Salle des Fêtes, and where they celebrate big events. And I promise you it's like a small Versailles. Trying to get you closer to our big tree. Now the tree the last couple of years has been donated by locals. People have sometimes some very large trees threatening their homes or trees that they want to get rid of. And so they offer them to the city, and that's what's been happening this year and the past year as well. So this tree has been set up here a gift from some local people to the city of Tours. And after the holidays, they're going to turn it into mulch, and the mulch will be spread out through all the garden beds in the many parks in the city, which I think is wonderful. They're recycling. People are doing their photo ops. It's a big tradition here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Pretty thick crowds. So I'm going to walk up and do what the tram does, which is to go up a bustling Rue Nationale, National Street, which when it was inaugurated in the 18th century was of course known as the Royal Street. It's changed names many times. These lights were off a little earlier when I walked down, but now as you can see, everything's up, everything's on. The tram is honking at me because I'm in the middle of the street. I'm not going to fight with the tram, we're going to let it go. There we go. Bonjour, monsieur le tram. All right. Now I can do this. Look at the flowers. I wanted to show you how well they've decorated the Hôtel de Ville. I've been walking past it for a few weeks, and all these mums are yellow and white. So really, really pretty. And they go all the way up. All the way up. Bonjour and welcome if you just joined us. If you missed the lighting of the Christmas tree, you can rewind afterwards. This link will take you to the replay. This is the Galerie Lafayette. There's been a department store here for a really long time, even if it wasn't called Galerie Lafayette. We also have a Printemps. My favorite is the Printemps. It's in a different neighborhood. So this is the Rue Nationale, and it's lined with shops. A lot of them chains. So there are other neighborhoods where you can shop if you prefer independent boutiques. But if you like your chains, your French chains, for clothing, shoes, whatnot, La Fnac, they're all along the street here in Tours. Now you may remember the story if you've taken those virtual tours with me or met me here in Tours and walked around the city with me this year. You know the city suffered badly during World War II, and in June 1940 when the Germans arrived there was a terrible fire. The city burned for several days, and blocks of old buildings, and this street was really damaged. This beautiful street that used to be lined with elegant buildings like the ones you see on top here, dating back to the 18th century. You see them? Well, you can tell exactly where the fire stopped because about a block up, all the 18th century buildings are gone. And look at what the Galerie Lafayette did. We have a Christmas tree here too. That's a beautiful building. So I hope you're enjoying this. I know the holiday season has officially started in many parts of the world. Pardon. So la Rue Royale, the former Rue Royale, now the Rue Nationale, is kind of the lifeline of Tours, and both historic centers are on either side of it. So whether you stay in Le Vieux Tours, which would be on the left from where I'm standing, or if you stay in the cathedral neighborhood, both historic hearts of town, either side of this. And so you see how convenient it is with the tram. The tram can drop you off along the street if you're coming from the train station, and then you can make your way to your hotel or your apartment rental. It's pretty easy. Quite lively tonight. Now, for locals, when I lead tours here, I explained that this is a bit controversial because 9 years ago they inaugurated the tram and they turned this street into a pedestrian-only street. So it's only for pedestrians, bicycles and the tram. But this used to be the busiest street in Tours, and it connected Tours to cities in the south and Paris in the north, and there was a big entrance into Tours. So locals, those who are old enough to remember what it was like in the 60s and 70s, are not too big on this street being pedestrianized. Look at the beautiful 18th century facades. So these survived the fire of June 1940, the trams back. And you'll see in about a block, the facades are going to change completely. On the left-hand side, right around this area, famous writer, Honoré de Balzac, who was born in Tours. He was born in a house right alongside the street and then lived in another house as a child alongside the street. They don't exist anymore. After that, his family moved to Paris. He had a very successful career in Paris, a very stressful life as well, because he was always running out of money. And he loved coming here, back to the Touraine, where he grew up. And Balzac would describe the scenery, the places he went to, he stayed in the Touraine several times a year in most of his novels, in a lot of his novels. He never forgot where he came from. Understandable. In fact, there is a sign lit up right here that says this is the spot. Thank you for joining me tonight in Tours for the official start of the holiday season. We saw the lighting of the big Christmas tree on the Place Jaurès earlier. You can catch that later. Do you see these buildings? See how different they are from these buildings? So we know this is exactly where the fire stopped in June of 1940 when the Germans bombed the city. You see, these were added during the reconstruction, which is after World War II. And this entire section is like that. It's like a multi-layered cake almost. Quite a lively scene tonight. And I'm sure it's going to get busier and busier as days and weeks go by as we get closer to Christmas. It's always a lively scene on Saturdays. I hope you're enjoying this stroll. Glad you're enjoying the show. Ellen and Laura, thank you for the feedback and the encouragement. Oh, I spot a vin chaud booth here. Do you see it? Vin chaud, mulled wine. Lots of people lining up there. Look at that. This is where you get your mulled wine. I'm trying to raise my arm as high as I can. Tram! Step aside, Veronique. Here's an institution in the street on the right-hand side here, a brasserie known as a Madeleine. You'll see it in a sec. It's been here for a long time. Pretty decent place if you like brasseries. And they'll have their own little booth, I can tell. Yes, Lisa, it's fun for you probably to see this now, because you got to come here this year and we got to tour the city together with your hubby. That was a good day. I'm so thrilled I got to welcome so many patrons, France with Vero patrons in town this year, and the tours were a lot of fun. Thanks, Kat. Thank you. So the stores are closed, but it doesn't stop people from being out and about. So the way they've set this up is you have different squares, obviously. We have 3 smaller Christmas markets. One was by the Hôtel de Ville. There's one on a smaller square where I took you last year, Place de la Résistance, and it's on the left here. I'm going to just show you like this. You see, there is a big Christmas tree that's actually a merry-go-round, a manège. So there's a tiny little Christmas market there. And then the third one is right by the Loire River, where traditionally the big Ferris wheel is. So that's where I'm headed. I can smell the waffles and les gaufres, les crêpes from here. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, when you came to tour in April, the weather was not really cooperating, was it? You and your hubby were so brave. It's been fun to show you all around my city and tell you about the history, going back between the past and the present. There's so many stories to tell here. So many stories. So reach out if you're in town and if you're interested in a tour. If I'm around, I'll be happy to take you around and tell you stories. Here is Saint-Julien Church, the church that once belonged to a powerful abbey that dates back to the 6th century, no less. The church itself has been through a lot. Most of it now dates back to the 13th century. It didn't survive the French Revolution, of course, but Saint-Julien is kind of a miracle because when this entire section of the neighborhood burned down in June 1940, both sides of the street totally burned down, and on the sides as well, those side streets here. We lost so many historic buildings and beautiful neighborhoods. Well, Saint-Julien kind of stood its ground. So the stained glass windows were damaged, but it's still here, this old church. I got to go inside recently, it was lots of fun. Un autre manège, a merry-go-round. Hey Sharon, bonjour, welcome. I have lots of friends here today. Thank you for joining me. Now those two buildings on the right and the left, not the prettiest or most elegant buildings in Tours, you will agree. But some of you do recognize them because they are hotels. And some of you have stayed there. They're the new Hilton hotels. And next to them are condos. So you have the hotel and the condos next to them. In fact, some of these condos are available as apartment rentals. What I'm doing for Christmas is I'm putting together a list of my favorite hotels and favorite apartment rentals in Tours, as well as my favorite restaurants and things to do in the city for friends with Vero patrons. This will be part of their Christmas gift this year. It's been a lot of work because it's me, myself, and I running this small business. But I hope they enjoy that information. And of course, the two Hilton hotels are mentioned on that list. Look at the Ferris wheel, it's back. Last time I saw it was for July 14, our national holiday. Hope the sound's still good for you. Yes, the church, Saint-Julien Church, Sharon, you cannot visit. It can only be visited at certain times. And the other day I took a tour and that's how I got to go in, otherwise it was closed. And I also went in on for Heritage Days in September. Yes, that's right, 3 of us. 3 of me, myself, and I. Here's our library in the distance that was rebuilt after the war. Since behind me, everything that's behind me burned down pretty much, right? So the Hotel de Ville you saw down there used to be up here. The Museum of Fine Arts used to be up here. Both sides of the streets obliterated by the fire. So they had to rebuild everything, including the library. So let's see, I can cross, I think. I see the little green guy. I'll keep going for a few more minutes because I'd like to show you, I hope it's going to work in there. I want to show you the little Christmas market we have in here. If you'll go with me. Wish I could share the smells of food. Marché de Noël, it says, see? Marché de Noël. Now, I once live streamed from this Ferris wheel on July 14th. I may do it again when my son Alec comes to town in December. All right, here we go. kind of fun. What do we have here? Marron chaud. Do you see? It says marron chaud. So the roasted chestnuts is a big deal. They roast them and then they put them in a little cone made out of newspaper, and you just buy them. And here you have your place where you sample vin chaud, mulled wine. And they typically offer vin blanc, vin rouge. See, the sign here says vin blanc chaud. And they also have du cidre chaud, which is hot cider. Looks pretty good. Is it down there? Pardon, excusez-moi. Yep, that would be the cider down there. And it's smoking hot. I may have to stop on the way out. What do we have here? Tête de choco, chocolate heads. They are massive bits of chocolate, for sure. Boy, this is not just a bite. This is a few bites here. Children everywhere. Chapeau de paille, the straw hat. A place where you can grignoter, to nibble. And you have some finger foods, amuse-bouche. You can see it here. Oh yeah, the cider smells good. I can smell it. You have tapas made with foie gras. Saint-Maur de Touraine is one of the star goat cheeses in the Loire Valley. A burger, of course, it wouldn't be. And look at the creative name, Tourange ho ho ho, because Tourangeau is somebody from Tours. Oh, that's funny. And of course, les plats du jour, the specials. There's a duck confit dish, risotto, and desserts. Not bad, eh? So you can come here and have your, what does he have here? This looks like raclette. This looks like raclette. He's melting the cheese right there. And then over there is something that looks yummy. Maybe tartiflette. Some artisan, craftsman, jewelry. Oh, this is Cafecito. Cafecito is a very popular coffee place in town. They are a roastery. They make their own coffee. And they have a couple of locations. And they do an excellent brunch on Sundays in both locations. Gentlemen selling some really nice leatherware. And here we have products from Vouvray. So Vouvray, popular wine, very close to Tours. Sparkling wine, among others. And here you can also get some oysters, les huîtres. So you can, and see he's got the space set up. So keep in mind this just opened a couple of hours ago, so that's why it's still empty, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty popular. This one's not open yet. This is the first day, the first couple of hours. Fouet. Ah, fouet. Fouet is lovely. Fouet is a specialty. It can be called fouet, like here, or it can be called fouasse as well in the Anjou, closer to Saumur and Angers. Fouet is bread. It's bread that's cooked in a really hot wood-fired oven. And because of the heat, it just grows. It kind of swells up. And so they take it out of the fire, they slice it open like a giant pita bread, if you will, and they put some fillings which will be savory or sweet. So that's a very popular thing to eat here. See, so she's opened it. So here you have the menu. For €5, you can get your fouasse or your fouet filled with foie gras and fig jam, or with smoked salmon and dill cream, or andouillette au Vouvray. Andouillette. Now I'm not going to go in detail on what andouillette is because it's an acquired taste. And then you have formule, of course, your prefix. C'est bon, c'est gentil, merci. And then you have your more. Oh boy, this is good. You have the rillettes de Touraine, so the shredded pork, the rillette. And Tours makes excellent rillettes. They compete with the ones made in Le Mans. Rillon, which is bits of pork that are cooked in fat and quite lovely. It's also a delicacy. Salmon, more things, and then you have the dessert ones with Nutella, confiture, miel, and so forth. So there you go. If you want to go local here, you order une fouet, or sometimes called fouasse. Ça vous gêne si je la montre? Ça vous gêne si je la montre? Bonjour. Excusez-moi, je leur montre. La fouet, there you go. You've seen it up close and personal. Merci, bonne soirée. They were nice. They let me film it. Yes, andouillette is definitely an acquired taste, Sharon. It looks like sausage, but as soon as you smell it, you know it's not regular sausage. And that is related to the fact that it's filled with interesting stuff. The smell is quite pungent. The taste is very strong. But it's a delicacy and some people love it. What do we have here? Ooh, the Ferris wheel's going full speed. Vin chaud, more vin chaud. Vin chaud, beer, hot dogs, raclette. So they do look at the size of the hot dogs. Big hot dogs. Le hot dog. You have your little space to eat. That's a fun little market. It's not bad. And here is la gaufrerie. Gaufre in French, waffle. So you can get your waffles here with sucre, of course, sugar or chocolat or chantilly, whipped cream. Yeah, it's a fun little market. It's not the biggest one I've seen, but we have 3 small ones, like I said. They're spread out around the city. What does he sell here? There's a long line. It must be good. I'm trying to see what it says. Something that looks... Let's see. Kurtos. Maybe some of you know what this is. Traditional brioche, cooked like the rotisserie style. So it's like a... Oh yeah, I see it. Bonjour. See? Look at that. And then she's going to put things on it. This, I've never seen this before. So for €7, you get Le Tourangeau, the one from Tours, with your rayon, your pork bits here, cream made with fresh goat cheese and your fried onions. And then you have different types. Le Baltique will be with salmon, of course, le végétarien. This is cool. Oh, Debbie likes it. There you go. Kurtos. Okay. You learn every day. Back at the little mulled wine stand. And oh, and they've got the cutest little characters up there. Do you see them? So it's quite a lively atmosphere. I'll be back. I'll be back. Bonsoir, monsieur. Those are the Hilton hotels you see. On the right-hand side is the Garden Inn, and on the left side, the Hampton. Good options to stay in Tours, mostly because of their great location. All right. On the other side, I believe, is another food thingy and an ice skating rink. That's what they do every year. So what I think I'll do is I'll show you the Wilson Bridge, Le Pont Wilson, which locals call Le Pont de Pierre, the stone bridge. And this beautiful bridge was built originally in the 18th century when they opened that street that crossed the city from north to south, la Rue Royale, which is now la Rue Nationale. And now the tram and bicycles and pedestrians and people who like to jog use it. And the Loire is down below. Water levels are going back up, slowly but surely. It's going to be very dark. I don't think you'll see much down there. But I can see there's current. It's beautiful. Well, we've been going for a little while and I know you have things to do. Let me do this so you can see the bridge better. You see, when you get to the other side of the Loire here, you are in a section known as Tours Nord, the northern section of Tours. La Tranchée is the name of that street over there. Maybe I'm risking my life. Maybe I am. So tomorrow I'm off on a road trip. I'm going to a city where I've heard the Christmas market is quite good. I'm working on a little video for the holidays that I'll release later. So I'm going there tomorrow for a couple days. A new little adventure back on the road. It had been a while. Voila. Behind me, the Ferris wheel. I might have to get back up there and eventually and just live stream again and try to do something fun there. So I want to say thank you for joining me today. If you missed the start of the video when they turned on all the lights on that beautiful tree, make sure to catch that later once the video uploads on YouTube. All my tours, as you know, are tip supported. I do this for a business. This is my little business, me, myself, and I. So if you'd like to help me out, help me create more content, check out my virtual tip jar on PayPal or send a super chat via YouTube. And of course, Patreon is always an option. I have nothing to sell this Christmas. I noticed a lot of people are selling a lot of things because it's an important time to do that. I'm a terrible business person because I have nothing to sell except Patreon memberships that help support my business. So if you are so inclined, thank you so much. Everything gratefully accepted here. Thank you for being here. For those of you celebrating Thanksgiving, I know it's a long weekend and you're very busy. But I'm grateful you took the time to be with me today. Now, patrons, I have a couple of surprises coming up in December for you, including a new live stream in the old heart of Tours where all the lights are up. And we need to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of the first virtual tour I did here in December of 2020 during the lockdown. And this is the 2nd anniversary already. So patrons, I will take you there next month so we can look at the glorious light that came on tonight. And for all of you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, your long weekend for some of you. À bientôt, friends.